Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into Asalha Puja, Dhamma's Genesis observance. We're basing this journey directly on a brilliant analytical article written by Dr. Paitun Sangha for the Thailand Foundation, which you can find over at thailandfoundation.org.th. We're going to explore how the Buddha, acting as the king of Dhamma, literally sounded the drum of truth to establish an eternal empire of peace and psychological liberation. It's an amazing story that perfectly bridges ancient wisdom with modern high performance, so let's get right into it.
We're starting our journey right here in modern-day Thailand during the beautiful observance of Asalha Puja. Typically falling around July or August, millions of Theravada Buddhists gather for this mesmerizing ceremony called Wien Thian. Just imagine this. As the sun sets, devotees are gently pushing back the darkness with a massive, growing sea of glowing candlelight. Holding lit candles, incense, and lotus flowers, they mindfully walk in a tranquil, clockwise procession around sacred temple grounds. It is visually stunning, honoring the triple gem. But here's the thing. This beautiful, peaceful scene, it's actually commemorating a massive, world-altering event. Literally, the exact moment the Buddhist supreme wisdom was first shared with humanity. To really wrap our heads around why this is so significant, we need to look at how Thai Buddhists categorize their sacred holidays through a really unique tripartite framework. So you've got Visakha Puja, which is deeply revered as the day of the Buddha. Then there's Magha Puja, recognized as the day of the Sangha, honoring the monastic community. And then we have Asalha Puja, our focus today, which is celebrated as the day of the Dhamma. In Thailand, this day carries such immense cultural and spiritual weight that they actually made it a major national holiday back in 1958. It is a dedicated, wholehearted celebration of the teachings themselves.
Section 1. Escaping the Extremes, a journey back 2,600 years.
To truly appreciate the magnitude of this day of the Dhamma, we have to flash back 2,600 years to the Deer Park in ancient India. The Buddha was searching for his 5 former companions in a society that was completely trapped in a brutal binary. People seeking fulfillment were basically caught between 2 totally unfulfilling extremes. On one side, you had sensual indulgence. Think of the affluent obsessing over materialism, just clinging so tightly to physical pleasures. And on the flip side, you had self-mortification. These resolute ascetics trying to force spiritual purity through intense, punishing methods. I mean, they were literally starving and torturing themselves. Siddhartha Gautama had rigorously tested both of these paths, and guess what? It turns out neither extreme partying nor extreme starvation is a great way to actually end human suffering. So, upon reuniting with those 5 companions at the Deer Park, he boldly urged them to completely abandon those 2 dead ends. Instead, he revealed what we now call the middle way, or Majjhima Patipada. This is absolutely brilliant because it wasn't just some mild compromise. It was a radically new, perfectly balanced lifestyle, rooted in profound wisdom. It was specifically designed to lead directly to absolute peace, direct knowledge, and ultimately Nibbana. He delivered all of this in his inaugural discourse, famously known as the setting in motion of the wheel of the Dhamma.
Section 2. A diagnostic operating system, the 4 noble truths.
Now, what makes this first sermon so radical is just how incredibly clear it is. The Buddha didn't introduce some abstract philosophy or demand blind faith in unseen deities. Instead, he presented what we can best understand today as a highly practical, scientific, diagnostic operating system. Honestly, think of him as the ultimate physician diagnosing the human condition. First, he diagnosed the objective reality of the symptom, which is suffering, pointing out that birth, aging, illness, and death are all forms of suffering. Second, he identified the root cause. He revealed that suffering is driven by craving, that relentless, never-ending thirst for sensual pleasures. Third, he offered the prognosis and the cure. He declared that suffering ends with the complete fading away of that exact same craving, offering some very real hope for a liberated mind. And finally, he prescribed a comprehensive treatment plan, the Noble Eightfold Path, which perfectly integrates ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom.
Section 3. Completion of the Triple Gem, the Awakening of Koṇḍañña.
As this diagnostic system was being revealed right there in the Deer Park, a monumental breakthrough actually happened. See, this wasn't just a lecture. The 5 ascetics were listening, sure, but one of them, Venerable Koṇḍañña, processed this operating system at such a profound level that he attained the brilliant eye of Dhamma. There arose in him this completely dust-free, stainless vision of the truth. He realized, whatever is subject to origination is all subject to cessation. Sensing this massive shift, the Buddha joyfully declared, Koṇḍañña has indeed understood.
The system actually worked, guys. Psychological liberation was no longer a theory. It was an accessible reality.
Because of this incredible breakthrough, Venerable Koṇḍañña was instantly ordained as the world's very first Buddhist monk. Right there on that mid-July day, the spiritual foundation of Buddhism was totally solidified. For the first time in human history, the triple gem was flawlessly completed and unbroken. We now had the Buddha as the teacher, the Dhamma as the teaching, and the Sangha as the monastic community. It's just a breathtaking historical milestone when you really think about it.
Section 4. The Living Legacy. From Ancient Vassam to Modern Life. Jumping back to the present day, Asalha Puja acts as this critical spiritual doorway to the traditional rains retreat, where monks begin a sacred season to strictly practice and teach the Dhamma. But, this spiritual renewal extends way beyond temple walls. It's a genuinely universal tool. The Buddhist teachings on mental clarity are actively being utilized by global leaders right now. Just look at clinical psychology, where visionary Dr. Jon Kabat-Zinn successfully applies these exact meditative practices to heal human stress and anxiety in clinical settings. Over in elite sports, athletes like Novak Djokovic utilize mindfulness to conquer immense competitive pressure and maintain laser focus on the world stage. And in tech leadership, pioneers like Bill Gates rely on deep meditation to achieve ultimate mental clarity and process complex data. It is a living, breathing tool for ultimate human performance and peace.
Section 5. An unstoppable universal wheel. The wheel of Dhamma continues to turn. When the Buddha set this into motion at the deer park, liberation from psychological suffering became an accessible law of nature, rather than some mystical secret reserved for a chosen few. Ancient records wonderfully describe this breakthrough as an unstoppable wheel, and for good reason. Once these fundamental truths of mental clarity, cause and effect, and inner peace are brought to light, they simply cannot be unlearned. They can't be suppressed by any dogma or earthly power. From the historic Dhammak Stupa in ancient India to the majestic Borobudur in Indonesia, all the way to the glowing temples of Thailand, this truth absolutely endures. Over 2,600 years later, this wheel of wisdom is still turning, folks. It offers a transformative force, an active possibility unfolding in every single moment of mindfulness and cognitive clarity. It offers a profound, totally practical path to peace for anyone, regardless of culture or creed, who is willing to walk it. Which leaves us with one powerful question. Are you ready to walk the path to profound inner peace and mental clarity? Supreme freedom from stress and suffering is definitely not just some myth from the ancient past. If you are seeking practical solutions to modern life's challenges, I warmly invite you to explore more of this timeless, scientifically grounded wisdom. You can dive much deeper into these transformative teachings by visiting the Spiritual Values and Meditation section over at thailandfoundation.org.th. After 2,600 years, the wheel is still turning. The only question is, what habit will you break today to set your own wheel in motion? Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.